So this video is going to be about the use of microcurrent devices to reverse facial sarcopenia. Well, what is sarcopenia? Sarcopenia is age-related muscle loss, okay? Now, the face is highly susceptible to sarcopenia because we don't really use our face for much except for chewing, really. So the face is highly susceptible to sarcopenia and atrophy. Chewing gum and things like that can help, but with the eyes and stuff, there are unique facial exercises that help and things of that nature. But nothing helps quite as much as microcurrent. And microcurrent is a small electrical current put through the skin, which forces the muscles to clench and release, or to contract and release. Now, I want to make sure before I get started, people understand I'm not a physician. I'm not a physical therapist. I'm not anything like that. So this is not a video that should be taken as medical advice. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Now, I use a microcurrent device every day. Okay, I've started using it every day. I used to use it once or twice a week. Now, some things that the microcurrent devices are proven to do. Now, when you put a microcurrent bandage on an open wound, it does seem to help with rejuvenating the fibroblasts and helping the wound heal better. Now, that's good because that helps to firm up the skin when you're putting it on a healthy, unwounded face, which is essentially, but you have to understand, when you're aging, you're wounded. It's like a burn. It's cross-linking. But this device, the microcurrent, encourages the rejuvenation of the fibroblasts. So it helps to firm up the skin and make the skin effectively younger. The other thing that it does is it tones the muscles of the face. As I noted, this is difficult to do both with facial exercise because number one, it's very much overlooked and boring and annoying to do facial exercises. And number two, because the facial exercises aren't really getting deep enough. It's very hard to like put weights on your face or something like that. So the facial exercises are very difficult to get a good enough stimulation of the muscle to encourage the reversal of sarcopenia. The other thing that you need to keep in mind, though, with this device, now some of the downsides I'll tell you about this device. Number one, if you have an extremely low threshold on pain or an extremely low threshold on weird, because there's slight pain, not really. It's more of a weird feeling when your muscles are being stimulated with electrical current. And of course, only use devices that are made to be used on your face. And I'll explain that in a second too. So how it works is it's a very weird, bizarre feeling to have your face like moving on its own under the power of electrical stimulation. The other thing that you need to keep in mind is that you need electrode gel. When you use the thing, you can't really just use it on your face, although some devices do tell you to just keep your face wet. That's not going to be enough. You need a water-based electrode gel, like would be used for like paddles, like to resuscitate somebody or something of that nature. You need an electrode gel to use the thing properly, so that it glides across the skin properly, and so that it makes so it's conductive with the skin properly and conductive with the muscles properly, and so it's doing what it's doing. Another thing I would recommend getting is a boil and bite mouthpiece, and to keep your tongue the hell out of the way of your teeth while you're using the thing, particularly around the jawline, because it will cause your teeth to clench really hard. So that could be dangerous. I also recommend using it on a lower output, like a lower strength current, because I don't think it's really necessary to have a very strong current. It doesn't seem to be to get the results. And it can go quite high, but I don't think that it's necessary. So that's some of the downsides. The good side is it really does seem to work. Now, what brought me over to utilizing a microcurrent device? A microcurrent device is not the first device I've used to reverse facial aging, but it is the first one I've used that really does show promise. I do use a red light therapy mask, and I'll get into that in another video. But the thing with this device is that it was brought to my attention I've known about such things because, as I said, I research aging and age management medicine and things like that. So I've known about microcurrent therapy for quite a while. But the thing is, I never got interested into it until I was reading Dr. Nicholas Perricone's book on epigenetics. And he mentions it in the back of the book, the use of microcurrent devices for the exact same reasons I mentioned. The big one is the reversal of facial sarcopenia and facial atrophy, which helps to make the face appear. It's like getting a facelift every day. And it's generally safe compared to other things, and generally non-invasive compared to other things, and generally there's no recovery time from it. So it's a lot better than, fillers and things of that nature. And I've never had any of those things, and I never would, because I think that as I said, they're invasive. I don't want anything invasive when it's not necessary. Not to mention, when there's something invasive, you have the risk of infection, you have the risk of necrosis. You have a lot of risks involved whenever you're doing something that should not be done. Like you should not be having hyaluronic acid injected into your face. That's not that's not a good idea. Okay, so this just stimulates the muscles. It's simply exercising the face. Now, why did I say only use devices that are made for your face? Years back, and I have to get back into it, when I was homeless, I lost a lot of my equipment. One of the things I had was a Soviet-style electrostimulation device, and I'm going to get another one. However, these electrical stimulation devices that are TENS and MENS units that are used for nerve health and to reverse muscular atrophy in people that can't exercise and people that just don't have the time to exercise. These things are a little too potent to be putting on your face and can shut down your breathing and things like that. You can choke yourself to death with these things. So you don't want to be putting something like that anywhere near your face or neck. Okay? So don't use devices that are made for your biceps, triceps, pectorals, abdominals, quads, hamstrings, calves, shins, feet. Don't be using these things that are used to stimulate big muscles on the little muscles of your face, because you'll regret that, and it could be lethal even. So be careful. And that's all for this video.